2 years ago, we moved to this homestead after living in our RV as a family of 6 and a Great Pyrenees for 2 years. We moved to this homestead October 18 of 2021. It is now the last day of December of 2023, and I thought it would be fun to go down memory lane and show you what we've got going on the first 2 years of living on our homestead and building it from scratch. Right now, I am standing in our driveway. When we first moved here, this whole 2.6 acres that we bought here in coastal South Carolina was completely majority wooded, especially the driveway. It had about 4 or 5, probably 5 big pine trees in the driveway. So the driveway was really narrow. And so I knew right away that I wanted to at least get the big pine trees from narrowing the driveway. The driveway was probably only about 6 feet wide because the trees had grown into the driveway. The owner that had lived here previously was a really old man. Him and his wife put this mobile home here when they were the first people to live here, so they brought it here from scratch. And his wife died, and he was just living here, and he ended up selling it to a developer here locally who just rented it for a year, and then after that sold it to us. So really we're like the second owners slash the third people to live here since it's been put here in, I think it was 1985. We previously lived on a 1/4 of an acre lot in a city closer to Charleston, and we had a really big garden there, but that's all we had. We didn't have any chickens, we didn't have any goats, although we could have had both of those things. At the time, my mindset was like, I didn't want goats at all, and chickens, I wanted to wait until we got a larger area, which on hindsight, I'm thinking about it, and I definitely should have had chickens and goats because that's what I have now. But at the time, I definitely thought that I just wanted a milk cow. And then when we got here, my feelings changed towards a milk cow because with this being wooded, it kind of more lent for having goats than having a cow. Now that grass is starting to grow, I could probably switch that out, but I would still have to feed a lot of hay because, like I said, when we first moved here, it was completely wooded. Our property does go all the way back to probably right before you see that next house. This is 2.6 acres, and all of the trees that you see around me is pretty much what this looked like. I do have some footage that I'm going to be rolling and showing you. So immediately, it did not have any fence. Right now we have a whole perimeter fence around the 2.6 acres. There is a couple feet at the back that we didn't fence in completely, but the first thing that we did, I knew that right away, the main thing before animals, before anything, is we needed to get a fence. We had our livestock guardian dog and we had chickens at the time when we first moved here, and we knew that we needed to house our livestock guardian dog outside without him running away. So immediately we called lots of tree companies. I didn't want to put up a fence with knowing that a tree company was going to come and knock down trees. And so the first priority was to get quotes on trees. After getting a bunch of quotes just to knock down individual trees, it was going to be really expensive because they were charging you per tree. I ended up deciding that it would be better just to go ahead and have a forest mulcher come through and just knock down a bunch of trees. And in the process, I realized that I wanted my garden to be at the front of the property. In my old garden, it was a side front yard garden, and so I kind of have my garden at the same location as I did my last garden. But the reason why I chose it to be at the front on this location is because as I'm walking down, it gets really low. Like I can step here and I just kind of like dumped like 6 inches, or even here, whoop, that's a really big drop. That's about another, probably a foot from standing up here. And so this was really low. The previous owner had a little garden towards probably where you see that blue tarp a little over right here, and it was completely shaded, and neighbors had told me that that was like basically a sinkhole, and so none of his produce really did good because it was really, really low in that spot. So I knew I wasn't going to have it in that spot. So right through here, there used to be a garden here, so the guy had up a fence that we need to take out. So it goes all the way, our property does go all the way back that way and over that way. But so right now it's filled with trees. We already spoke to 3 tree companies to come in and see about getting some trees removed. There is 2 walnut trees, that one and another one, but yep. The most level area on my whole property and without the least amount of trees, which I knew I was going to do no dig, but for eventually for roots to grow down, I figured that the front of the property, it's the most level. I'll turn you around and show you. This is where my garden's at. There's a garden kitty behind me. This is where the garden's at, and it's the most flat area of my whole property. And so immediately I knew that I was going to have my garden up front so that I didn't have to deal with like intense grades. And with them forest mulching everything, it did raise some low levels quite a bit, but with the wood chips breaking down, the soil is becoming really, really good, and it has become to settle. And so there's still lots of dips and areas. So I'm still glad that my front garden is up here. But after we got everything forest mulch, then we decided that it was time to get a fence. And so we got our fence around that whole perimeter right away. And then after we got our fence perimetered in, we were able to get our chickens outdoors, our dog outdoors. We did get ducks, which I'm standing right next to them. So right here is our orchard area, and it's one of those places where it's towards going towards one of those like really, really low areas. And so a lot of the trees in that area right there did not really make it. I planted them from bare root trees and stuck them right into the ground, and just a lot of water collects there. It's really, really clay over there, and the water does not drain, and so the trees didn't do well over there. But I did put my ducks inside the orchard area with my trees, because I had watched a video, I think it was Small Farm, Big Dream or something like that. I watched a video or a movie about putting ducks inside your orchard area and how they eat the bugs off of your orchard. And so I have my ducks inside here, but all the trees going this way are really, really doing good. Most of these right here are apples and pears. I do still have some peaches alive. I have some plums alive and some nectarines. But I think my cherry tree has died, and I think that's pretty much it. After getting everything fenced in, I immediately, even before my orchard, I began to focus on this garden. Originally, I thought that I was going to have wood chip pathways. It looked really, really beautiful that first year. I thought the garden looked absolutely beautiful. Right now, you guys, if you've been following me a while, you know that I changed these 3x6 beds to 3x15 beds by just connecting them and putting in the pathways, or taking out the pathways that was right there by adding a piece of wood. So the garden has come quite a long way in the past 2 years. These raised beds were made by using clearance wood that I got from Home Depot. So each wood cost less than 50 cents to purchase. And they were dogwood ear picket fences. And I still love them to this day. I also ended up adding in all of these forever garden beds and spray painting them at the same time. We built this hoop house that we have here. It is a 10 foot wide by 32 feet long. It's a cattle panel hoop house. We built this going into our second year here on the homestead. And I absolutely love it, especially now that it is chilly. It's probably about 41 degrees outside. But if you step inside the hoop house, it's much warmer, especially because the sun is out. So it holds temperatures really, really well. I'm going to end up closing it because it's going to get down into the low 30s. It has been up. It has been up into the 50s and 60s, but it's going to go down back for the next week into the low 30s. So I'm going to close that up and let it keep its warm in there. Although we are here on 2.6 acres, we don't use nearly as the whole 2.6 acres. We could probably definitely get by with just the acre that we're living on, or that with the animals that we have, we could probably get away with just living on the acre. We do have a fence going across half the yard, and although we do have the goats over there, we could easily just put them on the little goat pen that we have built over here by our barn, and then the pigs, we could easily put them at the back side behind our house as well. And so really we don't use that opposite side. Right now we kind of use it as building pasture, and so we are moving our pigs. They're like right over here. They're laying down so you can't see them. If you guys didn't see that video when we got pigs, I'll insert it here now. It was really, really funny, and it was an adventure. And now on our going on our second year, our pigs should be having babies here in February.
You want me to get the pigs out now?
Yeah. Oh. Are you guys gonna carry the?
We can carry the pigs.
Yeah.
Because have a base on the bottom.
Yeah. So you and Aiden gonna grab one? Gotta grab the stinky leg.
I think they threw up as much.
Okay. Grab, do the stinky leg. Do the stinky leg.
You didn't know where Pippi back.
Aiden, grab his front legs out.
Alright, come on, buddy.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah, that's how he threw it in. Aiden, you gonna carry it like a baby?
No.
You gonna carry it like a baby? Whoa, Aiden, don't let that pig loose. Oh my goodness. You gonna carry it like a baby, Aiden?
I can barely carry it like this.
Well, what should we do? Should I carry two front legs? Should I carry two front legs? Daddy's carrying it like a baby. To the left, to the left. Naya. Whoa. Turn we need the hose, Naya. We need a hose.
Walk back and say, walk back.
You can see our goats right there. On last year, we did experience to see and get to assist in some goat births with some first-time moms, and so that was an interesting time trying to milk first-time moms, but we did it. And now some of their babies, there's a little black and white one, and there's a little white one over there that right now they're eating hay out of a pool. So yeah, we got to assist some goat births, and they should be pregnant as well. We built this hoop coop right here. We built two of them right now. One of them we were using to house our pigs, but right now when we were separating baby chicks, because we hatched out probably over 100 chickens in this past spring, and we did a lot of those ended up being roosters, and so we did butcher a bunch of them, which was definitely interesting, having so many roosters. But right now we have a mix of chickens in here. We did hatch a bunch of them, and then we ordered chickens, and so those are our mixed chickens. We have our American breasts in there, and as well as some new chickens that we ordered from the hatchery, and then chickens that we hatched as well. In our net right here with the chicken tractor, that chicken tractor is the first thing my husband ever built on this homestead, was that chicken tractor, and he followed the instructions based off of Justin Rhodes' chickshaw, and it's still alive. We have tried to fix hinges from breaking when the girls haven't like locked it, and then we've had windstorms, and the windstorms have like flew it up completely, but for the most part it's still here, and we love it. We get to move the chickens ever so often. Now that it's winter time, we aren't moving the chickens probably until this grass starts growing again. With our chickens that are in the hoop coop, we've just been giving them a deep bedding method, so adding a bunch of straw at the bottom and keeping the eggs dry that way. Well, definitely not a lot going on this side of the property, besides our pigs are gonna give birth, supposed to be in February. Our goats should probably give birth in February. Our chickens aren't laying as much right now. I didn't show you our rabbits. This is the side of our house, and this is where we house our meat rabbits, and they are bred. We have 4 females, and they are bred, and 2 males, and they're all doing really well. And underneath them I have just bins to collect their poop and urine, and that's also where we keep our worms, our red wigglers. So that is definitely a vermicomposting thing we have going on right here, and every so often I go ahead and dump it and then separate the worms from the worm castings and use that for our garden. This past year we didn't get as nearly, the only new animals that we got were the animals born here on the farm and the pigs, and going forward we probably won't bring any brand new animals onto the homestead if it's not already born here. We're kind of content with the animals that we have right now, and we'll probably you know, be good going forward. The things that I want to really focus on now that we've been here for 2 years, going into our 3rd year, is with this garden. I've already been making changes after being here for 2 years and trying to fix the things that I didn't like, and so this year I'm going to heavily focus back on the garden and just fixing the things that I know did not work and the things that I didn't like, and I'm already beginning to do that. And so I'm hoping going into this 3rd gardening spring that I will have an abundance of harvest, and I will be able to bring you guys along and again show you guys everything that I, you know, mistakes I made or things that work and things that didn't work, as well as showing, because it's going to be a busy season. My husband and I are both in ministry full-time at our church, and we homeschool our 4 kids, and our son is actually going to be leaving in the summertime, and so it's going to be a lot of changes. He's going on a missionary trip by himself, and right now he's in college. He plays high school baseball, so yeah, once this season, once January hits, it's going to be a busy season, but I've been trying to plan and prepare for it in advance, and I'll definitely take you guys along with me as I show you our journey in going into our 3rd year living here at the homestead. Thank you guys for hanging out with me as we took a tour down memory lane, and I'll have to see you guys next time. Bye.